what originally inspired you? I know it was money, but of all things that you could have done to make money, why hair?
It was really easy.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to the States, I was born in Mexico, and I left there when I was 13, and haircutting was a big part of my own life and my what do you call it? Well-being.
Yeah.
Like feeling good about myself. In Mexico, I used to get haircuts maybe like every 2 to 3 weeks. My parents would take me, and they were completely inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
And it was part of like my reward. I had good grades, you get a haircut. I was a nerd, I was a smart ass, and I loved it. Academic competitions, I was like top of my class, and the whole thing was like, yeah, keep getting good grades, you keep getting haircuts.
Yes.
And so I love my hairstylist. I never went to a barbershop. It was always women taking care of me, being really sweet to me. And my later hairstylist was a single mom, and I had a big crush on her. She was so loving, so kind. She really saw me. She saw me and made me feel seen.
Yes.
And so when I came to the States, I was 13, going through so many hormonal changes. I didn't know the language. I hated my parents and the world and America for for taking it all away, everything that I knew. So it was pretty hard. So not having my haircut and not having my feel good moment really bummed me out. I felt really alone and unseen. So my parents go, don't worry about it, just keep getting good grades, we'll take you to get a haircut. So then I visited a barbershop, and that's when I experienced the whole next. I was just another next. And it only made me feel more sad and depressed than I was really feeling. So I said, screw this. If anyone's gonna make me feel this way, I'd rather be me. So I picked up scissors and clippers, and I went into my bathroom, cut my own hair. And
how'd that first one go?
Oh man, I must have been in there for 2 hours in the bathroom.
Just like every detail.
Oh boy, it was bad. It was bad, but I said, you know what? It's gonna be better in 2 weeks. My hair grew really fast. I used to have it really short like you.
Yeah.
And so again, 2 weeks later, try it again, and it kept getting better and better. So I'm in high school at the time. I'm 14, 15. And kids started seeing my haircuts, and at the time I'm like drawing stuff in my head, getting really, really good. Cutting my family, cutting little friends, and people started asking me, who cut your hair? Can you cut my hair? And I'm thinking, no, you sneaky teenager, I'm not going to cut your hair. You're sweaty, no. So again, I didn't think of it as like, oh, this is what I do. But I value education really highly, and I wanted to, we could only afford public school at the time. So the classes that I was interested on were at the community college. So I said, well, this could be a little business venture. If I make a little money, I can pay my own school. So while in high school, I was taking classes at the community college for psychology, sociology, philosophy, painting, sculpting, yoga, all the things that I really wanted to geek out on.
Yes.
And so that was a drive, So I started having like a better relationship with hair of, okay, it's a means to an end. It makes me money. I pay for my schooling. And then I get to explore the world and see what I want to do. And sure enough, I had all these teenagers in my chair. I got really involved in anything that I could. I love mentoring people. I thought of being a psychotherapist or a psychologist or a professor, like a history professor. So I grew up Catholic in Mexico. So soon we looked for a church, and I got involved in the youth group. So you're having me like speaking and coaching, mentoring the younger teens that were completely depressed. Like it was like during the whole emo era, And also like I was really good in soccer. I was captain, varsity. I came back and coached the soccer team in high school. So I'm coaching, also mentor, part of like a group in the high school that kind of like pushes minorities and to try to go to college. So I was part of that, mentoring and like everything, like history, even English, ironically, math. And so I'm doing all these things for the teens, like the people around me, and I'm having to kind of have more of an impact on people. And I'm realizing like, oh my God, like it's more than just making money on a couple bucks. Like I'm actually getting to impact people in my chair, in my garage. So soon after I started working at the local barbershop. And this is where things really start taking off, like I start kind of like outgrowing the main guy, and I'm start seeing this stuff like maybe a possibility for me to venture out. And what started happening that really set the tone was that there was magic in the chair. It wasn't all about making them feel good or making them look good. It started going deeper. It was a coaching, it was a psychology. I was really into fashion too, so I actually graduated and went to fashion school at the community college.
Oh, that's so cool.
So
You're like, I gotta complete the look.
Yeah,
it's not just the hair.
Like pattern making, tailoring, draping. So another lens, you know what I mean? So all of a sudden I'm starting to like see hair deeper and deeper. But people in the chair, when they come to you, and they were coming to me at the time, they wanted a transformation. They're ready to come in bringing themselves to surrender.
Yes.
It wasn't like my one-on-one practices in psychology of like, oh, tell me about what's happening. People were like, why do I need to tell you? You're a teen. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
The chair is different. People already come in, oh yeah, I'm going to give up something. I'm going to cut my hair off, or I'm going to do something to my hair. So I feel like that helps let go, the idea of letting go, the idea of change. So that was it, man. I started seeing like, holy cow, like in the chair, in the hair chair, more transformations and deeper, even like fashion statements and deeper everything else is happening rather than all these other ventures. So that's when I realized that I was 21. Screw everything else I was trying out. I'm gonna do hair, but I'm gonna give it more depth.
That's beautiful. That's you hit on something that I think is so key, and I don't even know if you knew you were doing it, but I think when I say it now, it may click for you. And I'm very curious to hear your perspective on this principle. So one thing that I talk about in coaching as well as in Zen Stoic a lot is this principle of being the source of what you seek to experience. So you had this source of being seen and feeling safe and feeling really cared for when you were in Mexico every time you would go and get a haircut.
Yes.
And suddenly that was taken away from you because you came here. So like one of the things you cherished most in your life was suddenly inaccessible. Right. And so for a while you tried to find it, and then finally you're like, screw this, I'm going to be the source of that. Right. And you weren't just the source of it for yourself by cutting your own hair, but you started to become the source of it for everyone around you. And then that turned into different forms like coaching and sports and mentoring and talking to them and having them in the chair. And suddenly you became the source of the very thing that you thought you had lost. Right. And that to me is one of the most empowering principles that a human being can think of, is instead of just like begging or longing for the source of the thing that you seek, become that. Right. Not just for yourself, but for other people. And it magnifies the whole experience of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, that thought has come in there. It's cool seeing you reflect that back to me, because that's essentially what you do too.
Exactly.
And I think we recognize that in each other,
Exactly.
And it's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.